Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So we have a bunch of stuff that is going on in the nation, and I tell you, it's absolutely crazy, the different things that we have taking place. There's some good news. We have two senators that are actually making an exit. They're not going to be running for re-election, and they're some of the ones that have been giving us problems at advancing the Trump conservative agenda, so they're going to be gone. We're going to be covering that later on in the program. One thing that I want to first start off by talking about is something that is very important to all of us evangelicals, and it's a recent ruling by a group of federal judges. And I want to start off by talking a bit about this. It's going to infuriate some of you, but it's expected. It won't surprise any of us. Didn't surprise me. This is coming out of the state of Virginia, so it's our neighboring state here in West Virginia where I broadcast from. And anyway, what is taking place here, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia, said that a cross that is a war memorial is unconstitutional. It was placed in a Blazenberg cross, and it was placed in 1925 to honor the fallen war heroes of World War I. The location of this cross is in Maryland, so not too far away, another neighboring state. So this is really close to home of where I'm at. And, you know, guys, this is absolutely horrendous because this is a huge cross that was dedicated to the fallen soldiers that lost their lives in defending this country back in World War I. And the Federal Court of Appeals of the Fourth Circuit has decided, nope, sorry, this is unconstitutional because this symbolizes Christianity. Now, this is not the establishment of a religion. This is not an establishment of a religion. All that this is that this is just to honor the men who lost their lives in defending this country during World War I. But what has happened is that they have politicized this. They have made this a First Amendment issue, which, in my opinion, it is a First Amendment issue because it's infringing with the right to freedom of speech. There's nothing wrong with placing a war memorial that is in the shape of a cross. There's nothing wrong with that. But according to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, there's a massive problem with it, and they have ordered this cross to be removed, to be torn down like some statue of a dictator, ropes brought around it, tear the thing down, tear the sucker down. That's what they're wanting to do. Now, probably from the way that I understand that'll probably take place with this, I would say that they will move this statue somewhere else because someone with private property, I'm sure, will want it, but that could also not happen. It's up to the governing officials to decide where the cross goes. However, this is absolutely outrageous that they're making this into a big deal. But of course, atheists are cheering this decision. Liberals are cheering this decision. And quite frankly, it is unconstitutional. A good friend of mine, Brian Fisher, with the American Family Association, wrote a post that we have up on CowgerNation.com, and he discussed how this is an unconstitutional decision and how these justices need to be impeached. This is Brian Fisher on CowgerNation.com. A federal appeals court ruled this week that a cross on public land is a violation of the United States Constitution. This ruling, not to put too fine a point on it, is absurd, unconstitutional, and impeachable. The 40-foot tall Blazenberg, I believe I pronounced that right, or Blazenberg, I think is how you pronounce it, which stands on a highway median right outside Washington, D.C. It's located in Maryland there, has stood since 1925 as a memorial to the fallen soldiers of World War I. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia, said that the cross, according to the AP, equates to the government sponsorship of a particular religion. The problem with this ruling is that government sponsorship, which is the quoted remark that was made in this decision, of a cross does not and cannot possibly be a violation of the First Amendment of the Constitution as given to us by the founders. The First Amendment does not forbid government sponsorship of religion, but only the establishment of religion. And that is a good point that Brian made, because what is a sponsorship? Recognizing the existence of a God, recognizing the existence of Christianity. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's mentions of God in the Jefferson Memorial. When I visited Washington, D.C., I actually didn't know that until I went there, but I went to the Jefferson Memorial and I looked up on the sides of the place there. And yeah, sure enough, they have mentions of God all around it. So are we going to rip up the Jefferson Memorial? Are we going to take that out? That's exactly what the liberals want to do. They hate God. They despise God. They don't want any mention of God. And anyway, it says, Brian said, the word establishment at the time of the founding had a precise and technical meaning. It did not mean to say nice things, not to say nice things about God, or nice things about God, or nice things about Christ, or nice things about Christianity. All those things were absolutely fine with the founders. Why? Because the founders did it, who often indulged in those practices themselves with nary a thought that there was something inappropriate about any of it. No, to establish a religion meant specifically and exclusively to select one specific Christian denomination, pass a law designating it as the official church of the United States, and compel Americans to support it with their own money. Now, how can we validate Brian's claim? Well, you can validate Brian's claim by looking at what we broke away from. We broke away from England, from Great Britain. What is over in England? You have a sponsored church. You have a funded church by public dollars called the Church of England. You have a government church where they specifically favor a denomination. What is that denomination? The Church of England, okay? And what the founders wanted to do is that they didn't want there to be a Church of the United States. They wanted people to be able to practice their religion freely. However, that did not mean that the government could not acknowledge the existence of God or acknowledge the existence of Christianity or of Christ. That is absurd. And considering that many of our founders were devout in their faith, such as John Adams, that would have not gone over well at all. They acknowledged the existence of God. They loved God. I visited a church where many of our presidents, early presidents, sat there in Williamsburg. They had their names marked on the pews. George Washington sat here. I mean, guys, it's so absolutely preposterous what they are trying to do. They are trying to completely wipe God out of America. And then when crime goes up, when violent crime goes up, when we have all these massive problems that take place in this nation, where Sodom and Gomorrah is filling the streets, where abhorrent lifestyles are beginning to manifest themselves, we wonder why. Well, it's because we are chasing God out of this country. And America has said repetitively, we don't want God, we don't want God, we don't want God. Eventually, God's going to say, okay, well, I don't want anything to do with you. But see, what we witnessed in this nation is that many of the Christians that remain here, that are still God-fearing, have prayed and cried out to God for this madness to stop. And I believe that that's partially why the election turned out the way. Well, not partially. That is the reason why the election turned out the way that it did. Because our prayers were answered. And this godlessness, these abhorrent lifestyles are now going to be coming to an end because the churches are once again being empowered. And there's a new boldness that you can see that's starting to come over people. And the boldness that I had in my youth when I first started radio, which I'm still in my youth, but when I first started radio at 12 years old, 13 years old, I looked around and many of the commentators that were receiving a lot of recognition from media outlets and everything. They were so absolutely blasé. They were boring. They didn't have any energy to them, and they were always afraid of triggering somebody. Even the conservatives, they were always hesitant with everything that they said. They always had to be, Mr. Nice Guy all the time, rather than speaking the truth. They were, and some of them still are today in the mainstream media, but we are witnessing a new generation of conservatives that are starting to rise up, some of which are not religious, but we're also witnessing many that are religious also that are conservative, but they are boldly, in other words, they are boldly opinionated and not afraid to express what they believe. And that is absolutely fantastic to see that taking place, because there are many young conservatives that I've talked about on the show. Another one, Hunter Avallone, a guy that I had on this show a while back. He's a guy that is he's not so much religious anymore, but he is boldly conservative, and he's not afraid to express his conservative positions. And that's something that's very admirable. But you wouldn't have seen that when I was 13. You didn't see that when I was 12. You didn't see that hardly at all. But these are individuals that are being given a platform, and I believe that part of it is divine intervention, because these people are starting to collect massive audiences. And I think that I think that a lot of it is God-given, and the culture is starting to shift back to the way that it should be, back to the way that it used to be, the way that it was. And I tell you, I'm really intrigued as to what we're going to see taking place in Australia, because I'm sure that many of you aren't familiar with this, but Australia is bringing up the same-sex marriage case. And what is taking place here there in Australia is that they're putting it up to a national vote. The entire country is going to be voting on that, and so far, from a lot of the polls that have been conducted, the mainstream media over in Australia is just as liberal as ours, and they have actually pulled some of their polls that show that the no vote, the no against same-sex marriage, is greatly beating the yes vote in favor of same-sex marriage. So they have completely pulled those polls because they are not accurate. So they're trying to deceive the public and telling them, yeah, everyone's expecting the yes to win. But I've talked to several friends of mine that are over in Australia, and they have responded back to me, telling me that the yes vote is really shaken right now, because the no is starting to really make themselves known and could very potentially prevail in this entire thing. And there was an online poll that was taken, which sometimes, as we found out with the Trump administration or with the Trump versus Clinton election, sometimes the online polls are much more accurate than the actual polls conducted by the news organizations. And from the online poll that was recently conducted, there were over 2,000 people that voted. And in this online poll, 87% said, no, we do not want same-sex marriage. Now, I might be surprised, but I don't believe that it will be that big of a number when it's brought up to a national scale. I think that it will be a lot closer, although might be wrong. But if that's what takes place on a national scale, it's going to completely blow the world away, because everyone's expecting the yes vote to prevail over in Australia. So we be sure the vote is going to be taking place, the official vote. Many of the votes have already been counted. The majority have already been counted. But the official tally is going to be taking place on November 7th. So all of you can be sure to keep Australia in our prayers, that the no vote prevails, and that the biblical standard of morality continues in that continent, in that country. So I think that it's looking good over there. But getting back to the United States of America, it's absolutely outrageous that this cross that has been out there for several years, that has been up since 1925, is now all of a sudden wanting the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is now wanting to tear that thing down. It's an absolute embarrassment. It's disgusting. It shows the anti-Christ spirit that exists in the judicial branch of our nation today, and that is something that is going to have to be done away with. But one thing that you also need to understand is that Trump has been appointing justice after justice in the lowest court, and he has appointed over 130. So that is a whopping number. So I think that it's really looking great for the future of our nation in all branches of government, whatever.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Hey guys, so let me tell you about a great company, nerdprowriting.com. Nerd Pro Writing is absolutely wonderful. They assist students in middle school, in high school, in college with writing essays, and they're a company that can be of great help if you know somebody or if you are the one struggling in getting your work turned in. They have absolutely great professional services at a very affordable cost, so go there right now. That is nerdprowriting.com. That is NERDPRO writing.com.
Is your car taking too long to sell? Swap it. Download the Car Swap app now. It's totally free to download and use. Just swipe left or right on cars you like, get matches, discuss details, then swap. There's thousands of users looking for a car just like yours, so you'll get offers fast, usually within hours. Plus, trading gets you better value than selling. Yep, even from dealers. Get the Car Swap app today free and get the car you love fast. Fresh sponsor.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code Radio1 for discount.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Hey guys, let me tell you about our sponsor, nerdprowriting.com. Nerdprowriting.com assists students in middle school, high school, in college with writing essays, and they do so as a service. They're a relatively new company, just started this year. For more information, you can go to nerdprowriting.com. That is nerdprowriting.com. Once again, that is nerd, N-E-R-D, pro, P-R-O, writing.com.
Have a brand, organization, or business? Consider becoming a sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Reaching over 6 states, the Caiden Cowger program offers wide coverage. I'm sure you've heard that radio is dead, but research shows that 93% of Americans listen to the radio, including 92% of millennials. That's greater than television, internet, and smartphone usage. Radio isn't dead. After all, aren't you hearing this? 84% of drivers cite radio as their primary in-car entertainment device. This means your sponsorship spot is reaching consumers closest to their point of purchase. In addition, talk is the second most listened to radio format. Sponsoring the Caiden Cowger program is actually quite simple. We tell our listeners who you are, what your business does, and how to get in touch with you. It helps you and keeps our program on the air. For more information, go to www.caidencowgerprogram.com/sponsor. That's www.caidencowgerprogram.com/sponsor.
This is President Donald J. Trump, and I would like to tell you, all of my loyal supporters, and you're all very loyal, to listen to the Caiden Cowger program on your local station. Caiden Cowger is a great guy, does an amazing job, loves Trump, and is making radio great again. His show is huge. Also, his Twitter account, @Caiden Cowger, is very big league. So big league, it's almost as good as Trump's. So go ahead and give him a follow. Let's make his Twitter followers number greater than Rosie O'Donnell's poor bathroom scale. Now that would be an accomplishment. You can also give him a follow on Instagram via @Caiden Cowger. Thank you, and let's make radio and America great again.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger.
Somebody had to say it.
So you guys are going to have to get a load of this one. So, I got to tell you, liberals are absolutely insane. They are absolutely crazy, guys. And to further my assessment of just how insane these people are, you're going to really love this. So liberals have a great plan to commemorate election night of 2016 for 2017. Liberals have decided on the anniversary of Donald Trump's election, liberals have decided that they are going to scream relentlessly at the sky. I'm going to say that again. So liberals have developed a genius idea of how to combat Donald Trump and his horrible conservative agenda. Get this, okay? To commemorate the victory of Donald Trump on Election Day, liberals plan to scream helplessly at the sky. They are screaming helplessly at the sky. So I assume they're blaming God for this? Is that what they're doing? God, how could you give us Trump? I love it. They are so absolutely insane. I thought they didn't believe in God. No, I'm kidding. But it's crazy. Thousands of anguished liberals, according to PJ Media, in Boston and Philadelphia, will be taking part in the Scream Fest on November the 8th to commemorate the anniversary of Donald Trump's election. Why? No! I tell you, I might be taking a trip to Boston or to Philadelphia to watch this for myself, because I tell you, this is straight up comedy. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. You want to talk about insanity? Liberals aren't insane. They're just screaming at the sky, which they don't believe that there's anything there, so no one knows what they're screaming at. I guess they're doing portrayals of Darth Vader. No! Absolutely. Or no, it's not Darth Vader. It's, see, I got my Star Wars wrong. It's, Luke Skywalker. There we go. I'm not a Star Wars nerd, so I didn't remember. But anyway, no offense to the Star Wars nerds out there. Liberals in other cities around the country are likely to step up to the crazy plate as well as the big day draws near. Over 4,000 guys, Facebook users in the Boston area have RSVP'd to attend the event they're calling Scream Helplessly at the Sky on the anniversary of the election. No! Another 33,000 have expressed interest in attending the event at the 383-year-old Boston Common, and they have a video of Homer Simpson yelling relentlessly, according to Only in Boston, of this entire thing. It's so that's a little thing that they, I guess, put on Twitter. I don't watch The Simpsons. Anyway, the organizers say in a Facebook post, "Come express your anger at the state of democracy and scream helplessly at the sky." All that Trump needs to do is he needs to send a professional camera crew to this Scream Fest and record it. And just record 30 seconds of their straight up screaming at the sky. And when he records that, he just puts, "These are Hillary supporters. I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message." He does that, he will win in 2020. That's all he has to do. Their actions may make a difference, to be sure, but perhaps not in the way they are intending. The sight of these unhinged minions binging on bitterness, self-pity, and outrage coming together to collectively howl at the moon is something that will drive more Americans into the arms of Trump. Absolutely. And it'll drive more liberals into the insane asylum. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to believe these people need to be in the insane asylum. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, Jimmy Z, made a post on Facebook that was really funny. And he said, if a liberal from 1960 showed up in 2017, he would be considered a conservative. But if a liberal from 2017 showed up in 1960, he would be considered a dangerous lunatic. And it's absolutely right. Because what type of rational thing does that sound like to you? We're going to all gather up in the streets and we're going to just scream at the sky. I guarantee you, for my homies in Buchanan, I guarantee you that eventually Upshur and Divisible is going to be doing the same exact thing where they're just all going to gather out in the streets and then just start screaming at the sky. I can see those organizers doing that, knowing who they are. So anyway, moving on. This is absolute insanity that's taking place. I'm going to stop. That was Jeff Flake. I'm sorry. That was an audio bit that did not mean to play. But it's this is a type of insanity that we're seeing taking place in America. Can you imagine what they would say about the Tea Party? What they would have said about conservatives if we would have all gathered out in the streets and started screaming at the sky because Obama won? Can you imagine the reaction of the liberal left? If they're mad at God, then they probably shouldn't have ticked him off when they voted him out of their Democratic Party platform, especially if they wanted, God to favor the Democrats. It's not smart to say, hey, God, we don't want you. And then all of a sudden when you lose the election, God, why did you do that? Well, the reason why is because you voted me out of your party platform. You support abortion, the genocide of unborn children, and you support sodomy-based marriage, which I do not approve of. So, I'm pretty sure that that's probably one of the reasons why God kind of intervened in this last election. And watch what God's going to do again in 2020. But anyway, I tell you, it's absolutely hilarious to see how liberals are absolutely losing their mind, and it verifies our claim that liberals are so open-minded that their brains have fallen out. So, anyway, moving on, getting to the audio bit that wasn't supposed to play, but we're going to play. It's of Jeff Flake, Senator Jeff Flake from the state of Arizona. He is a Republican, has decided that he will not run for re-election. Now, this comes after he has challenged President Donald Trump relentlessly in the Senate, and quite frankly, people just do not want him anymore, and he believes that he doesn't have a chance at winning re-election in his state, so he has just decided not to run. This is also a decision that Senator Bob Corker made. I believe he's from Tennessee. So anyway, here's a brief clip of Jeff Flake hammering Donald Trump in his speech that he's dropping out of the Senate race in Arizona.
Architects of this visionary, rules-based world order that has brought so much freedom and prosperity are the ones most eager to abandon it.
Oh.
The implications of this abandonment are profound, and the beneficiaries of this rather radical departure in the American approach to the world are the ideological enemies of our values. Despotism loves a vacuum, and our allies are now looking elsewhere for leadership.
He's boring, isn't he?
Why are they doing this? None of this is normal. And what do we, as United States senators, have to say about it?
What do you have to say?
The principles that underlie our politics, the values of our founding, are too vital to our identity and to our survival to allow them to be compromised by the requirements of politics.
He acts like he's reading a high school essay. Really, that's one of you want the real reason why he's not running, because he knows he's going to lose. When you get somebody that runs for office like Donald Trump that just speaks his mind, and that speaks on a natural level like everybody else, and he makes it to Washington, D.C., and he just completely drains the swamp, to be honest with you. These politicians like Senator Jeff Flake just seem like they're absolute robots. That's what happened to Marco Rubio when he ran against Donald Trump in the primaries. He just seemed like he was a robot, and he kept repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and eventually people caught on to it, and even Chris Christie caught on to that, and it was just, it didn't make any sense. And eventually he just got so embarrassed he got out. And that's exactly what's happening to Jeff Flake here. Jeff Flake is a flake, and he's leaving because he is unable to win re-election in his state, and he knows he's going to lose. So, it's wise to save his donors money, wise to save himself money, and save himself the embarrassment, honestly. He's done his time in the Senate. He's made a big mess of things by opposing the Republican conservative agenda. He might claim to be a conservative, but he's been called out, and he is going to lose. He's a Republican in name only, good riddance.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger.
Somebody had to say it.
Hey guys, so let me tell you about a great company, nerdprowriting.com. Nerd Writing is absolutely wonderful. They assist students in middle school, in high school, in college with writing essays, and they're a company that can be of great help if you know somebody or if you are the one struggling in getting your work turned in. They have absolutely great professional services at a very affordable cost, so go there right now. That is nerdprowriting.com. That is NERDPRO writing.com.
Is your car taking too long to sell? Swap it. Download the Car Swap app now. It's totally free to download and use. Just swipe left or right on cars you like, get matches, discuss details, then swap. There's thousands of users looking for a car just like yours, so you'll get offers fast, usually within hours. Plus, trading gets you better value than selling. Yep, even from dealers. Get the Car Swap app today free and get the car you love fast. Fresh sponsor.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code RADIO1 for discount.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Hey guys, let me tell you about our sponsor, nerdprowriting.com. Nerdprowriting.com assists students in middle school, high school, in college with writing essays, and they do so as a service. They're a relatively new company, just started this year. For more information, you can go to nerdprowriting.com. That is nerdprowriting.com. Once again, that is nerd, N-E-R-D, pro, P-R-O, writing.com.
Have a brand, organization, or business? Consider becoming a sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Reaching over 6 states, the Caiden Cowger program offers wide coverage. I'm sure you've heard that radio is dead, but research shows that 93% of Americans listen to the radio, including 92% of millennials. That's greater than television, internet, and smartphone usage. Radio isn't dead. After all, aren't you hearing this? 84% of drivers cite radio as their primary in-car entertainment device. This means your sponsorship spot is reaching consumers closest to their point of purchase. In addition, talk is the second most listened to radio format. Sponsoring the Caiden Cowger program is actually quite simple. We tell our listeners who you are, what your business does, and how to get in touch with you. It helps you and keeps our program on the air. For more information, go to www.caidencowgerprogram.com/sponsor. That's www.caidencowgerprogram.com/sponsor.
This is President Donald J. Trump, and I would like to tell you, all of my loyal supporters, and you're all very loyal, to listen to the Caiden Cowger program on your local station. Caiden Cowger is a great guy, does an amazing job, loves Trump, and is making radio great again. His show is huge. Also, his Twitter account, @Caiden Cowger, is very bigly. So bigly, it's almost as good as Trump's. So go ahead and give him a follow. Let's make his Twitter followers number greater than Rosie O'Donnell's poor bathroom scale. Now that would be an accomplishment. You can also give him a follow on Instagram via @Caiden Cowger. Thank you, and let's make radio and America great again.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
They're all falling like flies, aren't they? All these senators are falling like flies. The ones that attacked Donald Trump, they are out of there. They are gone. They are hasta la vista, baby. It is so absolutely fantastic. And you watch, there's going to be a bunch of incumbents that are going to be recognized as being incompetent by their electorate, and they are going to lose in the Republican primary. It's not going to happen. They are as good as done. Their political careers are dead. And I tell you, I'm looking at an article here. This is from CNS News, moving on to a different topic. This is something that is intriguing out of the state of California. Now, I want to read for you. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. I don't have that on hand off the top of my head, but I had actually looked it up earlier. I don't know why. But I was looking up California's election results for 2016. I'm going to pull that up on Politico while I'm on here talking to you guys. And anyway, California voted 61.6% for Hillary Clinton and only 32.8% for Donald Trump. Now, that's expected, right? 61.6% of California voted for Donald Trump, voted for Hillary Clinton. 61.6% voted for Hillary. 32.8% voted for Trump. Now, here's the thing, guys. Out of that 61.6% that voted for Hillary, listen to this. 44.6% in California do not speak English at home. 35.6% do not speak English at home in Texas, and 34.5% don't speak English in New Mexico. 31.7% in New Jersey don't speak English at home, and 31% in New York don't speak English at home. And you know that a good fraction of these individuals vote Democrat. If you don't believe that speaking English is an important thing when coming to an English-speaking country, then more than likely you're a liberal. And that's just the way that it is. I mean, you can disagree with me on that all that you want, but that's a fact. That is a reality. Are there some Republicans that may be mixed in there? Yes, but they are a very, very small minority. But here's the thing. 44.6% of people that live in California, of the overall population, 44.6%, only 6% from halfway, approximately 6% from halfway, vote or do not speak English, and more than likely vote Democrat. That's a huge number, guys. And I guarantee you that 44.6% could be factored in there to the 61.6% that voted for Hillary. I mean, when half the state doesn't even speak English, how can any Republican expect to win that? And who are you to say that all those are legal immigrants? More than likely, they're not. So, guys, I tell you, it's I don't know. It's quite mind-boggling to see that number, and I'll read you the article here. This is from CNS News. In California, which with a July 2016 population of 39,250,017, is the nation's most populous state. 44.6% of the people 5 years of age and older do not speak English at home. This is according to data released this week by the Census Bureau. And to confirm that number with you, you can actually go onto the CNS News website, and it will actually link you to the U.S. Census Bureau document and the research that they conducted and what percentage do not speak English at home, that is. At the same time, according to the Census Bureau, 18.6% of Californians and 5 and older do not speak English very well. So that is 18.6%. That ranks California at number 1 among the states for the percentage of people in both of these categories. Now, here's the intriguing factor. California consists of many sanctuary cities, too. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what sanctuary cities are, those are cities that house illegal immigrants and basically protect them from ICE, which is the El Deporto service in the United States. Nationwide, 21.6% speak a language other than English at home, and 8.6% speak English less than very well. Texas ranked second for the percentage of residents 5 and older who do not speak English at home with 35.6%. New Mexico ranked third with 34.5%, and New Jersey ranked fourth at 31.7%, and New York ranked fifth at 31%. So that's some intriguing statistics for you of some various groups that we have in the United States of America that do not speak English, and many of which do not speak English at all very well. And the reason why I think California's number is so drastic is because of their housing of illegal immigrants, is because of the sanctuary cities that exist over there. It is quite concerning because they have their ways of making their way into the system, and it's a concerning factor. And to say that speaking English is not an important thing to have in the United States of America is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Now, here's the thing. The liberals are taking this statistic and they're making it out like it is just this warm and tingly, fuzzy type of thing that we all should be just sobbing over in pure happiness. But the thing is that how is this wonderful? How is this wonderful that a large percentage of Americans or a large percentage of residents in these states do not read English, do not speak English very well, do not understand English, and at the same time, while they don't understand English, while they don't speak English, while they don't comprehend English, some way, somehow, they were able to pass a citizenship test. Now, how did that happen? If they don't understand English, guys, hear me. If these are people that do not understand English very well, such as we have the 18%, the 20%, goes up and down. With those numbers that I presented before you, how can you become a United States citizen if you don't understand English very well? How do you pass a citizenship test? Is a citizenship test no longer in English? Are they now giving various languages to accommodate the residents coming in? It's absolutely mind-boggling. And there's an article from NBC called I Did It. And it's a San Diego mother who can't read or write English. However, she earned the citizenship test. And NBC drafted this article, which is in reference much to the other article that we provided before you in the CNS News piece. But she said, I did it! San Diego mother who can't read or write English earns U.S. citizenship. This is the article from San Diego NBC local affiliate Channel 7. Southern California resident Jahava Menendez doesn't speak English. She can't read or write in any language, but she longed for a better future for herself, and this week she achieved that by finally becoming a United States citizen. I didn't think that I would be able to accomplish this, but I did, Mendez told NBC7 in Spanish, holding back the tears after being naturalized in a ceremony alongside 700 immigrants in downtown San Diego on Wednesday. I did it because my kids are here. They told me I needed to do this for myself to have a future here, she added. So was she here illegally? Menendez, originally from Mexico, has lived in the United States for 20 years. Yes, she is. Has lived in the United States for 20 years. She has always wanted to become a United States citizen, but illiteracy and the language barrier have held her back. So she more than likely came in illegally.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Hey guys, so let me tell you about a great company, nerdprowriting.com. NerdPro Writing is absolutely wonderful. They assist students in middle school, in high school, in college with writing essays, and they're a company that can be of great help if you know somebody or if you are the one struggling in getting your work turned in. They have absolutely great professional services at a very affordable cost, so go there right now. That is nerdprowriting.com. That is NERDPRO writing.com.
Is your car taking too long to sell? Swap it. Download the Car Swap app now. It's totally free to download and use. Just swipe left or right on cars you like, get matches, discuss details, then swap. There's thousands of users looking for a car just like yours, so you'll get offers fast, usually within hours. Plus, trading gets you better value than selling. Yep, even from dealers. Get the Car Swap app today free and get the car you love fast. Fresh sponsor.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code RADIO1 for discount.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
Have a brand, organization, or business? Consider becoming a sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Reaching over 6 states, the Caiden Cowger program offers wide coverage. I'm sure you've heard that radio is dead, but research shows that 93% of Americans listen to the radio, including 92% of millennials. That's greater than television, internet, and smartphone usage. Radio isn't dead. After all, aren't you hearing this? 84% of drivers cite radio as their primary in-car entertainment device. This means your sponsorship spot is reaching consumers closest to their point of purchase. In addition, talk is the second most listened to radio format. Sponsoring the Caiden Cowger program is actually quite simple. We tell our listeners who you are, what your business does, and how to get in touch with you. It helps you and keeps our program on the air. For more information, go to www.caidencowgerprogram.com/sponsor.
Like what you hear? We need your support. Consider becoming a patron of the Caiden Cowger program. As a member, you'll gain access to exclusive content only available to patrons of the show. Your subscription will help fund equipment, projects, promotion, and overall production of the broadcast. To join, go to www.patreon.com/Caiden Cowger. That's www.patreon.com/Caiden Cowger. Again, www.patreon.com/Caiden Cowger. And thanks.
This is President Donald J. Trump, and I would like to tell you, all of my loyal supporters, and you're all very loyal, to listen to the Caiden Cowger program on your local station. Caiden Cowger is a great guy, does an amazing job, loves Trump, and is making radio great again. His show is huge. Also, his Twitter account, @Caiden Cowger, is very bigly. So bigly, it's almost as good as Trump's. So go ahead and give him a follow. Let's make his Twitter followers number greater than Rosie O'Donnell's poor bathroom scale. Now that would be an accomplishment. You can also give him a follow on Instagram via @Caiden Cowger. Thank you, and let's make radio and America great again.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger.
Somebody had to say it.
So the Reverend Jesse Jackson is in the news again, and he's in the news for comparing the NFL to slaves picking cotton balls. Picking footballs to picking cotton balls. How picking cotton balls is somehow comparable to picking footballs and basketballs without freedom is not much progress. And this is Jesse Jackson on Fox Sports 1's Undisputed. Go ahead and listen to this absolutely wonderful audio bit. I hope it blesses you as much as it blessed me.
How much impact do you think the protests have had so far?
It has raised the consciousness about a lot of issues. For example, the very ownership of the league does not reflect national IQ. It says a lot about the social strata. The song itself has great meaning to us, the national anthem, but it's written by a slave owner, Francis Scott Key. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight and the gloom of the grave. That's in that same song. And it never was about the flag. That's Mr. Trump's issue. The issue was about racial disparities. And the issue had to do with Rodney King beat nearly to death and the 4 police who beat him walked free. Trayvon Martin killed and the killer walked free. Diallo killed in New York and the police walked free. And so we knelt before the flag. He didn't desecrate the flag. He didn't try to burn the flag. He didn't put up a Confederate flag, which is an anti-American flag. My father had to sit behind Nazi prisoners of war on American military bases. He had to sit behind the Nazis on American military bases with the flag flying. The flag. And this is not about the flag. We honor the flag, but the flag must represent all of us, and oftentimes it does not.
Then why are you bashing it?
Colin Kaepernick took a stand. Not sure he realized he was risking his job, but it appears he has lost his job. What has he meant to you as sort of the face of this movement within the National Football League?
In the same tradition of Muhammad Ali, who, when he changed his name and affirmed his religious position against the war, they took his title. He said, you can have the title, but you can't have the championship because I won that. In this Kurt Flood, you cannot sell me. All free agencies around the world owe their wages and their benefits to Kurt Flood, who paid the price of rebelling against the system of oppression. And it is oppressive. To go from picking cotton balls to picking footballs and basketballs without freedom is not very much progress. It's just a lateral move. And what strikes me is that...
Okay, and stop it right there. So he is comparing picking cotton balls to picking basketballs to picking basketballs. This is Reverend Jesse Jackson, okay? Now, guys, one thing that is also, other than the absolute absurdity and stupidity of comparing picking cotton balls to playing basketball and playing football, which they do so voluntarily, and they make millions and millions of dollars, so I don't think that football players are participating in slave labor, okay? It is no longer liberal versus conservative. It is anti-Americanism versus patriotism versus Americanism. You have people that hate America, and that's why they want to fundamentally transform it, like Obama wanted to do, and you have people that want to preserve America. That's the way that it's really always been. It's just becoming even clearer now. Because what's a conservative? A conservative wants to preserve. Preserve what? Preserve the United States of America. We love America. We love America, okay? Then you have liberals that want to fundamentally transform America, that don't believe that this country is perfect, that don't believe that this nation is a good country, that believe that we have a horrible history and that everything that has led up to this point is absolutely horrific and we need to just completely change everything. No recollection of the past. That's why they were advocating for the termination of the Jefferson Memorial not long ago. And eventually they're going to want to do away with the American flag and with the national anthem altogether. Why? Because the national anthem was written by a slave owner. You just heard it from the mouth of Jesse Jackson, and this is going to be something that is going to be reiterated by liberals in the future. Mark my words, October 24th. 2017. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. For the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you, God bless, and God save this nation.